Hey everyone, I'm Summer, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about mindset, business, technology, and the very human side of navigating change in a rapidly evolving world. This part is my Teach Me Something playlist where I have conversations with wonderful people, with brilliant people who help us understand ourselves better while also helping us function better in this modern life and the businesses that we run. And today's topic is something that I think a lot of people experience, but sometimes we don't have the language for this, the stress, the overwhelm, and the mental fatigues that can come with constantly trying out new technology, keeping up with platforms, digital life. My guest today is the beautiful Stacy Braiuca, also known as, wait for it, the Squirrel Wrangler. Have you ever heard of it? Stacy is a transformational mentor who helps people navigate what she called the threshold crossings by wrangling the inner squirrels of limited beliefs, self-doubt, and something that she coined herself, it's trademarked, Techxiety. If you have Techxiety, talk to Stacy. She has 30 years of experience blending psychology, neuroscience, spirituality, and technology. She helps people create more peace and clarity and authentic connection in both life and business. She's also the creator of Tech Relief Room, and she's the host of a show called, wait for it, Show Me Your Nuts. That's the first thing that attracted me to Stacy. Like, what is this? And then I ran through what it was all about. Now I get it. Stacy, welcome to my show.
Summer, I am so excited to be hanging out with you today.
I have to start with the phrase Techxiety because the second people hear it, they instantly know what you mean. We live in a world where we mix words and connect each other to know what exactly we're talking about. But in your words, what exactly is Techxiety and how does it show up in people's lives and businesses in ways that we don't even recognize?
Mm. Techxiety is one
Mm,
of the what I call intersections between mental wellness and technology. And everything I do is at the intersections of mental wellness and technology.
mm,
The particular thing, Techxiety, or as I say, got Techxiety, I solve that from the inside out,
mm,
is any type of anxiety or limiting belief or even ADHD productivity issue or anything that any like just tinglies in your body or fear or overwhelm that you get about anything technology,
mm,
especially about digital life, about software, about how to get your website to work, how to get this to work with that, and
mm,
how do I how do I get more things done in less time so
mm,
that I have time to hang out with other
mm,
humans. So I have time to take care of myself. All of those things fall under Techxiety.
mm. And technology is no longer optional because if you want to work globally with people or if you want to do anything online, adopt technology, right? It's woven into almost every part of our lives. So
It is.
why is it so important for us to be talking more openly about that intersection you were talking about, the intersection between technology and mental wellness?
Well, if I may, let me. Is it okay if I go back in history a little bit farther
Yes,
than the
please.
digital technology we talk about now?
Hmm.
Because in my world,
Hmm.
at least in the squirrel wranglers world,
Hmm.
technology goes all the way back
Hmm.
to fire.
To fire.
Our first technologies as humans was fire.
Hmm.
Fire helps us cook, but it also can destroy things, right?
Hmm.
So you have the good and the bad that that tool or technology can
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
The printing press, I'm flashing forward through history here. Printing
Hmm.
press, it can be used for good or evil. Cars, airplanes, good or
Hmm.
evil, right?
Hmm.
Computers, software, AI, whatever technology is coming next
Hmm.
can be applied to good or evil. And the difference in whether it is good or evil and whether it can be applied to good or evil is not the technology itself.
That is
It's the
so true.
humans,
It's the humans.
right?
Hmm.
So if we're looking at those feels that you get about technology,
Hmm.
the feels aren't necessarily because of the technology. It's because of either how other humans are using the technology.
Right.
For example, people can use AI to harm other people.
Mhm.
And then when they do, that causes fear by humans that haven't used it, because it's like, oh, AI is going to take over the world, and AI is going to kill me, and AI is going to do this, or computer. And it's not the AI that's doing that to you. If you recognize, number one, that it is the human behind it that may be causing it to be negative, and it's the human behind it that could cause it to be used for good. That takes out
Yes.
some of the anxiety just from the outset. Now, that doesn't mean that you're taking away all the anxiety or fear, because in the same sense that I work with clients, maybe they have fear of spiders. I'm going to work with that client similarly that I work with them if they have a fear of a computer, because anxiety and fear are anxiety and fear. And as a therapist of 30 years, that's what I would work on the fear. So what I do in sessions that I think is different is I change my hat depending on what we're working on. If someone's wanting to work on a piece of software and understand their software, we might start there. But then if they become anxious during the time, I switch hats. I say, okay, so then we go and we work on grounding, and we work on, I do some, I'll call it magic. I do some quantum magic, which is a form of neurolinguistic programming. I use some neurolinguistic programming. I might use hypnosis. I might use energy work to help them release the feeling. And then once they're
program
back,
the mind.
Yeah, program that, program this so that this isn't as uncomfortable.
Sometimes I've heard you compare the mind to programming a computer, programming the mind and programming the computer. And you say this is a very important analogy to remember. So in your opinion, how are these two processes equally similar? And when you compare them, what can people learn when it comes to changing habits and beliefs and emotional patterns? Is that what you work with?
Well, yeah, in a way, what you might want to think of is, our computers have what's called RAM, or the memory that it uses at any given moment. And that's kind of like what you're aware of at any given moment as a human. So you can compare those two. You can also compare the hard drive of the computer maybe to your conscious mind and external hard drives that you can hook up. Let's say you have unlimited external hard drives hooked up to your computer. We can call that your unconscious mind. It's not directly there, but it's accessible. Maybe you've got to use certain passwords to get to them. And that would be right. Then maybe even at that, there's even another level that is not just your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, but then you have your higher self. And actually, that's what I call Source GPT.
Source GPT, okay.
Which is source, or our higher self. Some people would say creator. And that Source GPT is literally every human has access to it. We can all, if and depending on your spiritual practice, all spiritual practices at some level have a source or a creator that they go to, and we all have that spiritual, and literally we can use that GPT and send information up, get downloads down. So I mean, and that's all it in a very small nutshell how there are similarities. If you also think about viruses on a computer.
Yes.
Viruses on a computer are things that get programmed in that cause harm.
Yes. So are bad thoughts. Okay. I'm seeing that. Okay. Great pattern.
So anywhere from the ages of 0 to 7, well, actually, let me go back a little bit farther. Anything before about the age of 7, backwards to 0, but depending on your spiritual beliefs, you act and your understandings, you can actually go previous lives and previous generations.
Right.
So things can get programmed into us from previous generations, previous lives, and from the time we're 0 to 7 years old, we are soaking in everything. It's like a computer that's soaking in every program imaginable. Some of them good, some of them not so good.
Yep.
Some of them things that happen to us, and some of them just things we witness out in the world, on TV, with our parents, with our grandparents, with people at the grocery store.
So stuff that probably happened and we chose to forget it, But our subconscious remembers.
Or we might not even choose to forget it so much,
Mm,
but that we
mm,
just don't remember it. I
mm.
mean, because and our unconscious mind does remember everything that happened to us. And then source is
Source
connected to
GPT.
everybody else's everything
Mm,
that happened, right?
yes.
So we those things that are programmed between 0 and 7, uh limiting beliefs, baggage, negative emotions, they cause all of those things.
Mm,
And that runs our programs literally for the rest of our life
mm,
unless
mm.
we reprogram them. The cool thing is you can reprogram every bit of it. It's possible to reprogram every bit of it.
There is hope for me. Okay.
There's hope for all of us. Thank God. Thank God there's hope for all of us. But my teacher, my NLP teacher, Kumu Matt, his dad had a saying, and he said, "It's never too late to have a happy childhood."
Wow, that's profound.
And what he meant by that was you can, even if you had something negative happen in your childhood,
Mm,
you can go back and reprogramming. Now, it doesn't take away what happened if you were damaged, harmed by it, but
mm,
what it does do, it can in a way take away the harm.
mm.
You can disconnect the negative emotions, limiting beliefs and such from it and bring forward the lessons, because there's
Beautiful.
lessons in all the good and the bad stuff.
That's correct. Yes.
So you can disconnect the emotion part from it and bring forward the lessons, and also reprogram a different view of what it was.
Mm,
You can't just do an affirmation and reprogram the view. Okay. So my caveat here is things like New Year's resolutions, affirmations, that shit doesn't work
mm,
unless
mm,
you have, number one, you have to take responsibility for your own stuff.
mm,
Even the bad stuff that happens to us, we have some responsibility for it. And some of that is that we put ourselves here in this life to do this thing,
mm,
and we decided to do it. So even the really bad stuff
mm.
we're responsible for our own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So take responsibility, get
Yes.
rid of, disconnect and do the reprogramming, get rid of the
Mm.
negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, negative
Limiting
emotions and
beliefs.
such.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Then and only then can you create smart goals. That's when
Beautiful.
you create your future.
Mm,
Then you take action and maintain focus. And those smart goals, that's when you can start adding in affirmations and New Year's resolutions, because the New Year's resolutions will work if
mm.
you've gotten rid of the other stuff first.
Wow,
They
that's
won't work
profound.
otherwise, because that unconscious mind runs 95% of our day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this segment of our conversation, I'm probably going to be listening to on repeat because I needed to hear this today. Stacy, one thing that stands out in your work is the idea of threshold crossings.
Mm-hmm.
So those moments where people are moving from one version of themselves to another, I think. Did
It
I get that
is.
right?
You got it. You spot on. Beautiful.
Perfect. What do you
It's
think
where,
people misunderstand mostly about the
mm,
change and the transformation?
yeah. Number one, I think as humans, we want the results of change, but we don't want to do the work, or we're terrified of doing the work.
Mm,
So we're terrified of, like, if you say just change it, that alone causes anxiety, right?
mm,
So
mm, mm.
I couldn't even say the word change anxiety.
Change a lighty, okay.
Yeah. So, that alone causes anxiety. So we're
Mm,
afraid of the word or the concept of change, but we want the results of it
mm,
at the same time. So I think one thing is one misconception could be is that change is not
mm,
necessarily hard. As a matter of fact, change can happen in an instant with one
mm,
decision.
mm,
If you go through, again, same process I just described, you go through
mhm,
that process,
mm,
change can happen in literally in and I'll say it's quantum time,
mm,
in an instant. You can literally change things in your life. Um,
mm,
and I think it's once you go through that process and you realize that it can change that quickly, then it starts changing rapidly, because once you realize, it's kind of one of those things, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
yes.
When you realize that you can change something that quickly and that painlessly,
Mm,
Then it's like, okay, what am I going to change next? What am I going to change next? What else can I change? What else can I do
Mm-hmm.
better? What else can I do can create of the better me? And so
Mm.
things start happening even quicker because
Personal
you start,
development becomes addictive. Yes, I
yeah,
can see
it
that. Mm.
does. You know, um, I think the sad part as a therapist of 30 years, one of the my if I could have only known what I know now about these
Mm.
things when I first started, my entire practice would have been different. My
Wow.
entire practice, because there were things that I was taught as a therapist to
Mm.
do that were best practices.
Mm.
And it's not anything wrong with the field or my practice or me. I was
Mm.
doing the best I could with what tools I had.
Mm.
But there were things that are called best practices or evidence-based practices that therapists are taught to do with people. One, having people tell their story over and over.
Mm. Mm.
That used to, in my mind, that used to be the way to help get them through it. Now I
Mhm.
know that I don't have to have them tell me the story at all
Mm.
in order for me to get them through, and I can help get them through it permanently. That telling the story over and over was just a temporary fix, and it didn't fix it. Now, again, I mean, then that's my own, I carried that
Mm.
personal weight for a while until I finally
Oh.
realized, well, I was doing the best I could with what I had at the time. And that's
Mm.
all any of us as humans can expect, is
Mm.
doing the best we can with
Mm.
what tools we have at the moment. And as we learn new things, use the new things,
Mm.
you know?
Wow. The emotional and mental weight of trying to navigate constant changes
Mm-hmm.
and changing thoughts. I think it comes down to that, doesn't it? Changing thoughts in a quantum moment and thinking
And knowing,
differently, programming differently.
yeah, knowing the different processes that you can do, knowing once you know what power you actually have as a human
Mm.
to do
Mm.
it, and I think once you've experienced it, especially one really big experience, once you have one really big experience, again, it kind of, I think about it as a spiral going downward. So like once
Mm.
you have one bad day, another
Mm.
bad day, another bad day,
Mm.
you can spiral downward very quickly, right?
Yes.
I
Mm.
think the same spiral works upward.
Upward too.
Once you
Yes.
experience one big spiral, that
Mm.
one big awesome change, the
Mm-hmm.
next one is easier, the next one's
Mm.
easier, the next one's easier, and then all of a
Mm.
sudden they become faster and faster. It's almost
Yes.
like an upside
If I
down
can do this, I
tornado.
can do the other one. I can do a bigger one, a better one,
Mhm.
a bigger one. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So like I live in Tornado Alley in the States,
Mm. Mm.
and tornadoes go or spiral. To me,
Down.
that's a
Yeah.
spiral
Mm.
down, and it caused destruction. I'm
Mm.
wondering if on the other side of that,
Mm.
in the just like in the fantasy world, is there's the other side of that where it spirals and goes up,
Mm.
and that's what goes up to source GPT, right?
Yes.
And then that's where we're connected to everything. Each of our little spiraling up tornadoes goes into everybody else's and comes to this, I don't know, big bang, brilliant space where all of
Mhm.
us are connected. So,
You have a profound thinking style. You sort of think like me, and I love that, if I might say so. And what are you working on right now, Stacy?
oh,
Lots
well, I
of
got a
things I
couple.
know.
I gotta. There's and when it comes to the intersections of mental wellness and technology,
Mm.
my business development has been such a crazy thing because everybody kept saying, "Oh, just pick one or the other," and every time I'd pick one, the other would be over there screaming at me, and then I'd
Mm.
pick it, and then this one would be over here screaming, and I finally was like, "No, I'm picking the intersection of it because that's where I work best."
Nice. Okay.
And so one of the things I'm working on is the launch of an app store that I created. It's a store of there are probably 20 to 30
Mm.
what I call micro apps that I
Mm.
have written, I created.
Mm. Mm.
I didn't have them made for me. I did them all myself for therapists, coaches, healers, and their clients. So it's the Acorn app toolbox, and there's a bunch of tools in there. So I'm
Mm.
launching it. And then you talked about Show Me Your Nuts.
Yes.
And Show Me Your Nuts
What a
last
cute
episode.
name.
Yeah, Show Me Your Nuts last episode happened to be in May
Mm.
of 2026.
Mm.
And I have a new show that is going to be a sequel show, kind of.
Beautiful.
And it is Crossing the Thresholds. So
Okay.
it's more specifically going to be about people's stories. I mean, one of the focus is going to be like people's stories of when they crossed a threshold, when they made a change,
Mm.
or
Mm.
a challenge that they're dealing with right now in changing. So it's going to be more about those deeper stories underneath just the mental wellness. It's going to be the, how did you go from this person to this person? And really we're going to talk about those threshold crossings.
Wow. And you bring in the deep wisdom from the native world. It's I think I compare that with the Indian, like native Indian and Indian from the subcontinent of India. We are two different kind of Indians, but two different kind of Indians, but we have that, ancestral knowledge that's passed down from us and the capacity to think in that way, in a higher,
I think so.
Yeah, in a higher spirituality or feeling or being or whatever that is.
Well, and to be fair and truthful, I think you go back far enough in any of our ancestral lineages, no matter what color your skin is, no matter what continent which of the continents your family started its life on, its lives, you go back far enough, all of us have tribal-based ancestral knowledge.
Correct. Yeah.
Some of us are much farther back away from that type of spiritual ancestral tribal knowledge, where science and spirituality were one thing. Many of us, because part of my family is, from European lineage, and they broke away farther and farther away from that original ancestral spiritual and knowledge sooner than some of the rest of us. So they broke away and broke science and spirituality into two things for a long time.
Correct. Yes.
And I think that it's all coming back anyway. I think we are literally living in the time watching the two literally intersect again, finally. And it's literally like when I looked it up on the astrology, it's like either a 2,600 year cycle or a 5,400 year cycle. So like 5,400
years. Yeah.
Since some of that was really intertwined where
interconnected.
It should be. And at the same time, that wasn't a bad thing. We actually had to go through the academic form of the learnings to then bring it back to the spiritual so that we could see the spiritual in a different way now that we're bringing it back. We're bringing the academic part that, frankly, Western European academe brings back in to the spirituality. And then while that was happening, those of us whose family held it on the continent, the Indian continent and the Native American Indians that Columbus thought he saw Indians, whatever. It was indigenous peoples. I just say we're both indigenous to different places.
Yeah.
Is that we had to carry that forward. We had to carry it forward through time, even if we got persecuted for it. We had to carry it forward through time so that it would be here when everybody who was going the academic route came back so that we could bring it all back together.
Stacy Braiuca, you're brilliant. You guys, if this resonated with you, go connect with Stacy. Explore the Tech Relief Room and go check out her Show Me Your Nuts show. Her links are all right below. Stacy, how do you want people to connect with you?
Well, they could come to my weekly coffee or any other events I have. The weekly coffee is in a place called the Quantum Quaff, and it is at stacybraiuca.com/events.
That's going to be there right in the description. Take a look at the description below. You'll see Stacy's bio and all the links you need to connect with Stacy. And if you're enjoying these Teach Me Something conversations, make sure you like and subscribe and share this with somebody who's feeling overwhelmed or overstimulated or stuck in this digital overload. Because sometimes peace starts with understanding what's really happening beneath the surface. Stacy, thank you so much for being here.
That was so well said. The peace does start with understanding what's underneath.
It does, beneath the surface, yes. And you guys, I'll see you in my next episode.